Holy cow, we just got some big casting news for Mike Flanagan's Exorcist movie, so let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here, and this time around we are covering news that just dropped about Scarlett Johansson being added to the cast of Mike Flanagan's upcoming Exorcist film. Now, David Gordon Green's Exorcist Believer from 2023 was divisive at best, and that made Blumhouse rethink and recalibrate and reload this whole entire thing, scrap the plans they had for DGG's sequels, and move things on over to Mike Flanagan, who everyone has been touting as the king of modern horror, and rightly so. This guy has a bunch of great movies and TV shows under his belt. So let's jump on over to Alex DiVincenzo's article from Bloody Disgusting and see what we got. But real quick, before we get into the article, I want you guys to jump on into the comment section and let me know your thoughts on Exorcist Believer. I know the audience was kind of split 50-50 on that one, so I'm curious to know if you wanted it to stay with David Gordon Green or if you like this new direction that the franchise is taking. And also tell me how you're feeling about Scarlett Johansson being added to the project here, and I'll give you guys my thoughts after we finish the article, so let's go. Okay, so the article reads, Academy Award nominee Scarlett Johansson will play the lead role in Mike Flanagan's radical new take on The Exorcist for Universal Pictures. And Flanagan jumps in to say, quote, Scarlett is a brilliant actress whose captivating performances always feel grounded and real, from genre films to summer blockbusters, and I couldn't be happier to have her join this Exorcist film. And as you may or may not know, the visionary behind The Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, and Dr. Sleep is writing and directing the film, which will tell an all-new story set in the Exorcist universe and is not a sequel to 2023's The Exorcist Believer. And not only is Flanagan writing and directing here, but he's also producing via his Red Room Pictures banner alongside Blumhouse / Atomic Monster and Morgan Creek Entertainment. And Flanagan recently said about the project, quote, this is an opportunity to do something that I believe has never been done within the franchise, something that honors what came before it but isn't built on nostalgia. I really just saw an opportunity to make the scariest movie I've ever made. I know expectations are high. No one's more intimidated than I am. And while the film was originally slated for a March 2026 release, the production was delayed due to Flanagan's commitment to his adaptation of Stephen King's Carrie for Prime Video. With that series wrapped, Flanagan is now gearing up to shoot The Exorcist in New York City. New York City! And yes, as Alex DiVincenzo says here to close out his article, the power of Christ compels you to stay tuned for more updates. Okay, so let's get into my thoughts here, and these are going to be a little more off the cuff and not so well rehearsed or anything like that. I try to put on the best voice and performance for you guys when I'm reading the article, but let's just have a chat. First off, I think it's great that Flanagan is taking over here. I know a lot of people weren't happy with Exorcist Believer, and I think Flanagan is great at what he does. I haven't seen everything that he's done under the sun, but I do really like his voice, and you know what? He is a crowd pleaser. There's a reason why he's the director and writer, that all of these people want to revive these, projects like A Nightmare on Elm Street, and he just finished a Clayface script as well, and as the article states, he finished that Carrie adaptation for Prime Video. So yeah, I think the guy has what it takes. Now, as far as Scarlett Johansson goes, this is great for the production. She may sign on as like a producer. I know she's in the spot where she could, so she could bring a little more cachet, not only as a performer, but behind the camera as well, I think. And I think this is really good for her career, not because she needs the help or anything like that, but because I think that horror is a really fun playground for these performers to jump into. You go from a Marvel movie to Jurassic Park, and sure, the big bucks are there and all of that is awesome, but I would imagine as a performer and just a creative person that maybe you don't have the kind of freedoms over there that you would have in a genre like horror or comedy or something like that. I also think she definitely has the chops, and I guess what this makes me wonder is, what is this project going to be? Is it going to be a reimagining of the original? Is it going to be something brand new that just happens to be called The Exorcist, just like the original did? I really don't know. I think it would be so difficult to remake that original, kind of like remaking Jaws, which oddly enough is another film from the 70s that didn't quite have the greatest footing in the sequel department, even though the original is universally known as a classic. So long story short, guys, I think it's kind of a tough task, jumping into The Exorcist, It's a film franchise that a lot of people really love, but I don't hear a lot of folks clamoring for more. So you're sort of feeding somebody something that they're not really asking for, and they may be a little more resistant to. Overall, I do think this news bodes well for the film. I mean, not only is Flanagan on board, but Scarlett Johansson is an excellent actress. I think she can even find a whole nother level here, jumping into the horror genre, so I'm excited for her and for the fans. But I don't know, guys, those are just my first blush thoughts, but I'm curious to know what you think, so jump on into the comments and let me know your thoughts down there. Let's go ahead and get that conversation going. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.